4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
Okay, welcome back to the bootleg corner. This is yet another episode, and this time we are doing a movie and music crossover. The movie of the day is no other than the popular drug crime series The Wire, produced in 2002 that ran up until 2007. The song for the crossover is no other than Biggie's 10 Crack Commandments, basically talking about the do's and don'ts of selling crack, or if you are in the crack game. So we'll be doing a crossover of The Wire and Biggie's 10 Crack Commandments.
Rule number uno, never let no one know how much dough you hold, cause you know.
This was pretty much non-applicable in the series. Territory was basically divided surgically, so there was little chance for strikes against each other by the main bosses. The only outlier was Omar, who simply robbed everybody as a matter of purpose. If you had it, best believe he was going to come and take it. The man who robbed Bubbles every time they met was yet another example of the cheddar breeding contempt. Bubbles had it and he didn't, and so Bubbles got squeezed every single time.
Number 2, never let them know your next move. Don't you know bad boys move in silence and violence?
Rule number 2, never let them know your next move. This will be seen through the phone call system that was established by Avon, Stringer, and most of the drug dealing bosses. The phone call system, the rule is never to say nothing important on call. They use code words and codes for everything. That way anybody listening on the other end will be confused or just short of anything to do, since nothing important was said on call. Another example of this is also Marlowe versus Avon and Stringer Bell. Two crime bosses pitted against each other over territorial claims. Marlowe was the young bull coming up without fear or regard of established rules, while Avon was the old lion who had fought and won territory the hard way, being challenged by an upstart. Multiple attacks and close calls were the status quo, as each side tried to outsmart the other by either sending moves in the form of a pretty girl or outright attack. Stringer and Avon and virtually all the mob bosses versus the cops is yet another evidence of moving in silence and never letting them know your next move, even though the police later got through the wiretaps. Omar is also again another example of this. He moved quietly and efficiently, managing as a one-man army to go against Barksdale and Stringer Bell without getting caught lacking one time. Stringer and Barksdale also pulled moves of their own, trying to catch Omar off guard at multiple points, from outright bounty placement to fake truces and ultimately a parlay.
Number 3, never trust nobody. Your mom's set that ass up properly gassed up.
Never trust nobody. Wallace, played by Michael B. Jordan, is the highlight of this. Wallace was thought to be snitching and got killed by his close friends Put and Bodie. This scene here simply says it all. Does it have to be like this? Stringer Bell versus Avon in the end came down to this. Two street boys who had trusted each other over a lifetime finally threw each other under the bus, but this was a little too late for Stringer Bell, as he was already dead by then, while Avon was arrested by information provided by Stringer Bell before his death.
Number 4, know you heard this before. Never get high on your own supply.
Rule number 4, never get high on your own supply. This was a cardinal rule for all hoppers in this movie. Everybody selling drugs. If you are a seller of drugs, you cannot also be a fiend, even though some will take it while off duty doing some other stuff, but while you are on the job selling drugs, you cannot be a fiend. No drugs for you. Your job is simply to sell the drugs. You have to be clear-eyed at all times, and even though some took it while off duty, as we said earlier, the major rule was set for all hoppers, even those who didn't work for Avon. Never get high while on the job.
Number 5, never sell no crack where you rest at. I don't care if they want an ounce, tell them bounce.
Rule number 5, never sell no crack where you rest at. This was a common theme in the movie. Nobody sold crack at home. I repeat, Nobody sold crack at home. It all happened in the streets. And even at that, the person taking your money is not the person giving you the drug. You still have to walk up a few meters to meet the person giving you the drugs, and sometimes you might even have to walk a little bit farther than others. The sellers do not even hold the drugs. They put it in wall cracks or behind walls or wherever that is near, that is convenient to them. That way, if there is anybody watching or if they are doing police raids, they can say technically it wasn't to them. I mean, talk about genius.
Number 6, that goddamn credit, get it. You think a crackhead paying you back, shit, forget it.
This is a rule that could literally have been done without, because it was basically public knowledge that nobody could sell cocaine on credit. I mean, Big literally said it. You think a crackhead is paying you back, forget it. The rule was flouted once or twice in the movie as you watch it, but you find out that it was a general rule to not sell drugs without taking the money.
7, this rule is so underrated. Keep your family and business completely separated.
Rule number 7, keep your family and business completely separated. This was not followed by Avon, who had D'Angelo in the business, thus ignoring Biggie's rule of family and business separation.
Number 8, never keep no weight on you. Them cats that squeeze your guns can hold jumps too.
Rule number 8, never keep no weight on you. We referenced this before, but the bosses never touched any drugs. They never had any drugs on them. They basically never touched the package, did not cut the package, did not pick up the package themselves. Basically, they absolved themselves from the drug trade. So looking at it from the outside to the inside, or even on the inside to the outside, the bosses were never in danger of having drugs on themselves or at their homes. They kept those things far away from them. Their lieutenants and the hoppers were the ones who had the drugs. The bosses just directed the whole movement. So this was a rule that was followed to the letter in The Wire.
Number 9 should have been number 1 to me. If you ain't getting back, stay the fuck from police.
Rule number 9, stay the fuck from police. If niggas think you snitching, they ain't trying to listen. This is basically one of the most popular teams in The Wire. Snitches getting stitches. The first episode literally starts with a snitch getting killed because he cannot keep his mouth shut and his eyes closed on what he saw D'Angelo doing to a civilian. Williams got killed because he was thought to be snitching. Snoop and Chris got Lil Kevin over this. Fat shop owner got killed over this. Multiple others got dropped because they thought they snitched, but they suspected that they could or would snitch at any point in time.
And number 10, a strong word called consignment, strictly for live men, not for freshmen.
Cutty was the only example of this, even though he didn't have to pay for it, but he took drugs he was gifted by Avon after coming home from jail and gave all of it to a hopper without any payments and got seriously fucked over. If that batch had been tied to a payment plan, he would have ended up dead or in serious trouble. As Biggie says, follow these rules and you have mad bread to break up. If not 24 years on the wake up, slug hit your temple, watch your frame shake up, caretaker did your makeup. When you passed, your girl fucked my man Jacob. Like, it's a long line of stuff. You play the game right, the game repays you in the end. You don't play the game right, then the game kicks you off in the end.